Hello and welcome everyone to Selective Prep Power Thinking Skills Test 41. We are looking at 10 selected questions today in this video. Let's start with the first one. So this first question was a codes question. If aunt was written as 121, 14, 20, then how will niece be written in the same code? The first thing that strikes me is that these numbers all lie in the range between 1 to 26. And this is very important because we know that our alphabet also ranges from 1 to 26. The next thing is that the first letter of our alphabet, A, actually is represented by 1. That tells me that this is actually the order of the alphabet. So A, B, C. Let's write out a couple. Will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And so on. Okay, so how would niece be written in this same code? We know that using just like this bit we have, that ECE, E is 5. Okay, let's write it out big actually. So 5 will go here, C is 3, and I is 9. N is actually 14 if you keep writing it. And the code that is most similar to that is C, exactly the same. Okay, identifying an assumption. So Les Brown famously said the following: shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you will land among the stars. What is the underlying assumption that Brown is making in this statement? So the answer here is actually D, okay? No matter what, all results from an attempt are constructive and should be honored. So basically, this is a metaphor, okay, for how you should try everything and try everything to the best of your abilities, because even if you fail, even if you miss the moon, you will land among things that are better than what you have, which are the stars. Okay, so D actually most accurately represents that. And you can see that all results from an attempt, okay, i.e. shooting, okay, are constructive, which means they are useful and helpful, okay, and should be honored. You can have a read of the solutions to see why A, B, and C are incorrect. Okay, number 3. If Jimmy comes first in crossword competition, he must really be smart and have a lot of practice. If Jimmy has a lot of practice, he's good at crossword puzzles. And if Jimmy is really smart, he has an IQ of 100, over 140. So which of the following cannot be true? The answer for 3 is B. Jimmy comes first in the crossword competition. That alone tells us what? Tells us that 1, he is very smart, and 2, he has had a lot of practice. Now, we know that he's good at crossword puzzles, okay? So this part about the practice is fine, okay? That is fulfilled. However, we also know he's really smart, but our answer option says that he only has an IQ of 135. This is not possible because if Jimmy is really smart, which he is, he has an IQ over a 140, okay? So B is the answer. It is not, cannot be true. Right, number 4. So only the digits 0 to 6 are used in this addition, and each of the letters represent a different digit. They've given us some of them, okay? So we know that I is 1, okay, I is 1. We know that T is 3, and O is 6. Okay, so what does that tell me? This is not really lined up, sorry about that. But we know that I here is 2, okay? So H, it must be either 4. It could be 3 if there was a carry on, okay? But I'm going to put 4 for now. So which ones have we done? We have done 1, we have 3, and we have 6. Okay, so the next bit, the T we know is a 3. So we'll put 3 and 3 here. And we have 0, 2, and 5 left over. So we know that there is no carry-on because O is a 6. Okay, so S, T, and E, if you add it up, it will be less than 9. Okay, so looking at what we have so far, S would be 2 and E would be 0. Add it up, you would get 5. If you were to put it in any other combination, you won't get that addition. Okay, so Y is represented by 5. D. From the solid, which of the following is the front view? You can see the front labeled here, and you can actually see it with the dimensional shading. Okay, the darkest shading is the front, and it's all the same here shape. Okay, so if you were to actually join up this dark bit, you would get something that looks like that. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3. Sorry, let's try again. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, something that looks like that, which is option D. All right, so Bob and Phil looking to rent a house together. It totally costs $450 a week. Right now they pay $225 a week by splitting it in half. Bob wants to pay or reduce the amount he pays by $150 per week. This is not saying he wants to pay $150 per week. He wants to minus $150 from what he is paying right now, which is $225. We minus, we get 12 minus 5, 7, $75 per week. That's how much he wants to pay. And to do that, everyone needs to pay 75 and needs to get to 450. So let's divide 450 by 75. 6 times 5 is 30. 42, 45. Minus, you get 0. So 6 people need to be there for Bob to pay $75 per week, which was $150 less than what he pays now, $225 a week. So the answer, we need to get how many more roommates. Okay, not how many roommates, how many more. We have 2 right now, we need another 4. So many layers to this question. Okay, you need to think about it really carefully and be careful of words like this. How much more? How many more? How much to reduce the amount, to increase the amount? Okay, it's talking about the difference, not the actual amount. Okay, which will weaken Freddie's decision? What is his decision? His decision is that he drinks 4 cans of energy drink every night, and he refuses to stop and continues to drink ample amounts every night. So what would contradict or weaken this idea that you can drink a lot of energy drink every night? The answer here is C. Okay, excessive amounts of energy drinks, okay, too much over the amount of normalcy, which is ample, okay, increases one's blood pressure and heart rate, which can lead to health disease in the future. Thus, this provides a very good contra-argument as to why he should not do what he's doing, which is drinking ample amounts every night. Okay, so C is the answer. Now, B is very close, okay? B is also to do with the health and how it has negative health impacts. But this word some is a bit contradictory. We don't know if these drinks that are included in the sum, energy drinks, in the statement, are the exact ones that Freddie drinks. So it's not as strong as C. Okay, 8, we have codes. So you can see that the only difference between this and this is 1 extra star. If you look at the difference in value, you can see that the star actually is equal to 3. Okay, so from there you can work this out. 3, 6, and 6 minus from 10 is 4. So that means these clubs or clovers are 2s each. So what does this stand for? 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3. 6 plus 3 is 9. Option C. Draw if a conclusion is true or not. Okay, so chocolate originated in Central America. Cocoa beans grow natively. Now, chocolates won't be popular, okay, if fission of sugar for this natural bitter taste wasn't attributed. Okay, that's basically the main point. This addition of sugar is very important because it attributed or contributed to this boom in popularity. So which one is best supported by this passage? We want to look for something that's to do with this sweetening. Okay, so the answer is C. This idea of sweetening the bitter taste of chocolate had never occurred. Chocolate might not be as popular as today. So that links directly to the popularity, to the addition of sugar, and to this natural bitter taste. So that's why C is the answer. And last question. So you know the drill for matching arguments. We want to replace the things that can be changed, the parameters, okay, with letters. Some objects are round. Some A, okay, sometimes A, B occurs, okay. Round objects can be tennis balls. So some B can be C, okay. Therefore, some objects could be tennis balls. Therefore, some A could be C. So the one that is very similar is D, okay. On some cold days, it snows. So on A, okay, B happens. When it snows, there can be a blizzard. When B happens, sometimes C can happen. Thus, on some cold days, on some A's, there could be C's. Okay, so obviously the prepositions are different, but they represent the same line of argument. Okay, and you can tell that by replacing it with letters. Okay, so some key points from this test. Just quickly going back, we can do coding questions. Okay, so let's talk about coding questions. Okay, I want you to always look for the differences. Okay, isolate them and try and figure them out first. So this is much better than getting stuck and being like, oh, I'm just going to try and check everything. I want you to look for the hints that they give you, the differences or the unique things in each of the codes, and work back from there. So for example, for our letter code, I started with 1. 1 is always good because it's kind of the start, okay? And 1 was represented by an A, and I knew that there was a link there because A is the first letter of the alphabet. Another thing was the addition code, okay? Do you remember that? So when we added things up, you write in what you already know, and from there, try and figure out the unique parts, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Another one I want to talk about today is the matching arguments questions, okay? For these matching argument questions, like always, I want you to replace the changeable, okay, bits with letters, okay, to reveal the structure of the argument, okay? Try and do these with the options too, okay? And find the best matching argument. Alright, so that actually concludes this video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Please revise these key points before you take the next exam, as it may help you. Until then, I hope you have a lovely week. I'll see you then.